Live from the internet and recorded on twitch.tv/The Crystal Chronicles. This is, you guessed it, The Crystal Chronicles, your official and official Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. This is episode 19, recorded on August 2nd, 2018. My name is Pierre. I'm joined by usual by Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Pierre. Hey, Twitchers. Hey, Dissidians. Nice plug of the Twitch channel there.
I see what I did.
Join us live if you're listening at home.
Yeah, well,
and at another time.
Yeah, probably in a week or so. That.
Hopefully you're alive when you're listening to us, but I don't have a lot of afterlife answers, so who knows? So all of our afterlife listeners.
See, all of you, when you're planning your afterlife, you think you're going like on a cloud or something. Nope, you're stuck listening to the Crystal Chronicles ever and ever and ever and ever.
Purgatory.
Yeah, in case you're not aware, we had a whole season 1. Yeah, that's what you're gonna be listening at, and I'm sorry for you. The first few 50 episodes might not have been great, and they might no longer be super relevant, but
it's not relevant at all.
Oh boy, what a week. I apologize, people. We're recording on a Thursday. We should have recorded last night on a Wednesday, and I totally fluked out. I texted Mark earlier. We were talking about it pre-show. I told Mark, you know what, I'm super tired. I have a lot of work stuff happening. I'll probably be dead asleep in the couch by 7 and won't make it at 9 for the podcast, so why don't we move this? And what would you know, at 9 p.m. I was ends deep in my freezer thawing an iceberg that hit itself in there, trashing my entire freezer and fridge content after the kids complained that milk was tasting funny. So, funny how life kind of turns out. So I'm super happy to be with you guys tonight.
That would, because I don't drink milk, so that would be like, Dad, this milk doesn't taste very good. I don't know, drink it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, there were little things floating.
It's called cottage cheese.
Oh,
Just enjoy it.
That's what it was. So you don't drink milk? Like at all? Or?
I don't personally drink milk, no.
Like you're a soy milk kind of guy, or?
No, like I don't drink anything milk related.
So if you
I've never liked milk.
So if you get a coffee, it's like gonna be like only sugar?
Oh, black. No, I drink my coffee black.
Black.
Yeah, that's in Canada, don't you have black coffee?
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 people drink it that way.
It's like a person.
So
I drink my coffee like it's, the water goes through the beans and then you drink that. That's how I drink my coffee.
See, yeah. I'm not a big coffee guy, and a couple of years back we went, me and a friend, to Starbucks, and I asked the girl at the counter, give me your most girlies coffee you have, and she gave me a mocha, and that's the only thing I'll drink, a mocha from Starbucks. That's
so it. If I go to Starbucks, I'm having a white chocolate latte with raspberry in it, because Starbucks doesn't serve coffee; they serve coffee flavored milkshakes.
Yeah, well, I guess so. So you're more of a black chocolate or milk chocolate kind of guy? See, that's a tricky question.
No, I mean, I would drink.
Well, it's not drinking; it's eating.
Oh no, dark chocolate. Oh,
okay, yeah. So you're absolutely anti-milk at 100%.
Oh yeah, no, like 90% dark chocolate, cocoa. That's the kind of stuff I eat. Yeah.
Okay, the real serious stuff.
Yeah, like just chewing on bark. That's pretty much what I like. Yeah.
So you probably like your cocaine like 100% pure Colombian. I mean, you don't want anything in your chocolate and.
No, I don't know. I've never really. I mean, I like cheese and ice cream and cheese. I love cheese because I'm American, and other milk products.
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese. I do. I eat cottage cheese with my eggs every morning.
Cream.
Like if I'm making pasta dishes, like I like Alfredo sauce, right?
All right.
So I've
So,
never really drank milk. I don't know.
all right.
How do
Well,
you
people, that was the Cow Chronicles.
early on?
Seriously speaking, we don't have much Final Fantasy related news tonight,
We have
so
tons of stuff actually.
so let's move on to the Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia news. Version 1.3.2 was released earlier this week with some bug fixes. I think some texts were not correctly written since the last upgrade, and we got some apology jam,
Yes.
100 jam to. I don't even remember what it was for. I guess it
Yeah.
was not super serious. And if you're with us live right now on twitch.tv/the Crystal Chronicles, what I'm going to say applies to tomorrow. However, if you're listening to this in podcast or YouTube form, what I'm going to say applies on Friday, August 3rd. So it might be today, it might be yesterday, which in that case would make it totally irrelevant. But anyway, Square Enix is having a mobile Friday stream again on August 3rd at 8:30 UTC, which you're free to pause this right now to translate in your own messed up time zone. And they're going to have a co-op challenge, which means that we will probably have gifts in a near future. And the way it works is that the characters that players will bring into these multiplayer will give the event some a number of points, and whenever we get a random number of points, I don't know exactly what they are, we get certain gifts. Garnet will be worth 3 points. Cloud and Hot Dog Eating Zell will be worth 2 points each. So these are the characters that are related to the Garnet event. Mark, you wrote something in caps. I'm going to give it to you. Why don't you?
Yes, and I said, how did I put it? Don't bring lightning. That's
Because
the other
is she worth like -5
one.
or?
Yeah, like negative 14 points. So, yeah, you remember you don't have to win
Yep.
these events. You just have to show up with the right characters. So bring your level 1 0 crystal strength Garnet with 1-star equipment, or bring Cloud and just try your best. Do your best. Do your best.
Do the best of your worst or the worst of your best, and
Or just bring all Zells. Who cares? Go
yeah,
go crazy.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Other than that, we still have a cycle quest rewards, which means every daily quest gives you twice the amount of crystals, or as Pierre likes to say, the way it should be normally.
Always.
Um,
It
'Cause
gives you an appropriate amount of
yeah,
crystals.
I would believe so. Uh, so that's something you want to take advantage on because it's only happening until Friday, August 10th. So you've got,
Yes.
at the time of this recording, more or less about 10 days, 8 days, I mean, left of double the crystals. So don't miss out on that because they won't be back for about another month and a half, 2 months,
I
maybe
got to
3.
build my crystal stock back up to 999 across the board.
You're a
Get ready for all
monster.
those new characters.
You're a monster.
I don't have everybody at crystal strength 50 though, so
Well, then what's the point of raising those crystals?
I don't know. Because I want the crystals for when new characters come. Everybody's at crystal strength 45.
Well, that's all that matters.
I think I got it's those last 5 that's a real tough
Oh,
investment for
it takes forever.
hot dog in the morning, hot dog in the evening. I don't know who's left on my list. If I look here, I gotta dial up on this loaner phone. My phone crapped out. Pierre knows. My phone crapped out on Sunday. Just died. My iPhone 7 Plus just completely just died. Apparently the motherboard went. I've never had any problem with iPhone in the 10 plus years I've had iPhones. Completely crapped out. They had to send it back to the iPhone store, and they gave me this beauty piece of crap iPhone. I think it's iPhone beta. I don't know if like what. Now it's a 5, so it still plays the game, thankfully. But yeah, let's say I got Zaz, Yuffie, Galoff, Yang, Ferris, Orin, Krille, Cyan, the usual suspects, Aerith, Lion, Edgar, and Irvine. Those are all at 45. Everybody else is at 50 crystal strength. So I might bump a few of them up to 50 before the end, depending on how much time. I've not had any time to play today. Probably won't tomorrow, but maybe on Saturday.
All right, we'll take you on that and keep posted on your what rank level are you right now?
Oh, I still got some guys to level up. I'm 280.
280?
Yeah.
Gee, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, Irving's not leveled up, Edgar's not leveled up, and I'm finishing up Garnet.
See, right now I'm at 290, and I've got only Sarah that needs a level and a half left because it took me forever to get her stupid weapon. Oh, there we go. Just gonna level it up a bit. Okay, crystal strength. Let's see what I have left to. Nope, here. All right, so I've got Sarah. I've got Cater, Ace, Lion, Irvine. What's his face? King. Oron, Cyan, Aerith. So that's 9. I'm not gonna name all of them. Oh, I skipped a few. Okay, so that's 9.
No type O love, huh?
Nope. 9. That's 18. 19, 21, 22, 23. That's 23 characters. Although most of them are way higher than 40. So yeah, getting there. It's just taking forever to grind those stupid crystals.
It does.
All right, let's see what we have here. So, there's the World of Illusion Radiant Artifact Dungeon in case you're shopping for artifact for a couple of characters. Right now, the characters that are in there are Galif, Squall, Van, Sarah, Edgar, Irvine, Terra, Shantoto, and Baltier. You've got, again, at the time of this recording, 7 days left to get your artifacts on. So
Yeah, I gotta spend some time grinding for that Van and Squall dungeon is perfect for me. I still do not have a perfect set of artifacts for Van or Squall, even though I use them consistently and have decent artifacts, just not perfect artifacts. And I need some Sarah artifacts to bump up my max limit broken Sarah. I have several new max limit broken characters now.
Mark is
Well,
OP.
I'm
gonna get a T-shirt at some point. It's gonna say Mark is OP. I swear I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, somebody after my Rune Blade tweet, someone posted something about the rich getting richer. So I am the 1%. I don't know what to tell you. I got all the privilege. I'm sorry. I tried to share it, but they don't. There's no trade function.
You're doing a very poor job at it.
No, I think I would. I feel bad because we're gonna talk about the Garnet event, but and we're gonna talk a little bit about my pull strategy. And I had planned to pull on this banner, depending on how my pulls for the Vaughn banner went. And we all know that was like 70,000 gems that I spent on that banner to get Vaughn's 35 CP. So I had 100 tickets, roughly 100 tickets, like 96. To pull on the Cloud banner, on the Garnet banner, because I really needed another physical character. Really, the only two physical characters, well, three physical characters I have are Lightning, Squall, and Ramza. And Ramza does not play well with Squall or Lightning. There's like no purpose to have Ramza with those two. So I'm like, Cloud would be a great. I wasn't necessarily sure I wanted to pull because I don't have the NT Buster Sword, but I'm like, whatever. I'll pull 100 tickets and we'll see what we get. So I spent my 100 tickets, and the very first thing I pulled after like 25 tickets was the Ruin Blade, Cloud's 35 CP. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll spend the rest of them, see what I get, which is great, which is amazing, right? I don't think I've ever pulled a 35 CP on the ticket. So then I got 3 hot dog eating fists to go with my Ruin Blade, which is great, because I need those power stones anyway. And so then I had around 30,000 gems. So I said, I'll hit some gems, and the chances of getting organics are pretty good with 30,000. Pretty good. Yeah, so I ended up with 5 Ruin Blades, uh, 2 of Garnet's 35 CP, a full set of Garnet's 16 or 15 CP, so 4, and like 8 hot dog fists. I don't even know how many of those, and no organics. So I got everything else on the banner besides this one 15 CP weapon that we've had since the beginning of the game, that I also tried to pull for at the beginning of the game, and I believe I've also pulled for since then. I do have Squall's other 15 CP, the one that does something stupid. It doesn't really help, but I have that anyway, if I had enough power stones or anything to do that. So now I have nothing. I have 880 gems, no organics. But I would, if I could have given like 4 of those other rune blades to people, because I'm sure there's people out there, and you may be listening right now, who have spent like 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 gems. People that have like gone into their credit card and like bought gems, and this have been like pulling and like begging and praying, please give me the Ruin Blade, 1 Ruin Blade. I've got 9,000 organics. I want 1 Ruin Blade. And so, yeah, I mean, I would have loved an opportunity to spread out the wealth. But there's no system for that, because that wouldn't make anybody money. So
Probably. Well, it would make money on eBay, but not for the game.
Right. So I apologize, all of you who are looking for a Rune Blade and didn't get it. If I got yours, I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't get everybody. I only got 4. So 4 people got screwed.
All your fault.
Yeah, like. But if it makes you feel any better, I don't have the stupid organics. So.
All right. Moving on. So there's the Power and Magic Chasm, the Cataclysm and Rising event that's on. We've talked about it really quickly last show because that was just a little bit too new. Basically, the event, there's 4 battles per event. You've got Catalyst and Rising. The first battle is Power, the second battle is Magic, the third battle is something something, and if you perfect all of these 3 battles one after the other, you get to go to the 4th battle, which is called something else, and unless you use a certain set of characters, which are Irvine, Sarah, Edgar, Terra, Baltier, Shantoto, and that's it. You cannot reuse the same characters again. So this is not a new mechanic. We've had an event like that before. It is not the same event, however. Mark, you were saying that thing is hard as hell. Now, maybe not the Catalyst, but the Rising is much harder than it was before.
Yeah, Rising should be doable for most people, I would think.
Yeah,
it's not easy, but it's doable. The last one was easy for us, for you and me, because we had Lightning, and Lightning was buffed. So, I mean, Lightning helps in this event too, but those buffs are really important. So if you pulled on this banner, if you pulled on Chapter 9, you have Irving. If you have Sarah, now I have a fully limit broke Sarah, but I have not gone back and done this event since I limit broke her.
Yeah, because you were telling me that she would have been super useful to you.
Yeah, she would have ripped it up, because she has a ranged weapon and magic attacks. So her normal attacks would be ranged weakness. Her regular attacks are magic damage, and she's really good. And especially because she's buffed, she's really good in this particular event. So, but Edgar and Irving maybe not so much, but maybe, because I used Balthier and I only have his 15 CP weapon, and he was great. So Irvine with his 15 CP weapon might be well. Terra and Chantano are going to help out too, but you're going to need more than that, because you're going to need a mix of physical, ranged, and magic characters to take down these different events. If you don't use the 6 that Pierre just listed, they get locked out. But once you unlock the final event and you get perfect on the first 3 by unlocking all the conditions, then you can use anybody on the final one. So it's not like you have to use your like garbage characters for the first 3 and save your good characters for the last one. You just have to use all of your characters for the first 3, and you can reuse them if they're the event characters. And then on the last one, you can use whoever you want.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I
No, yeah,
thought,
yeah.
huh.
Yeah, once you open Power and Magic Chasm, you can use whoever you want. It opens up everybody.
All right. It's good to know.
Which is nice. Yeah, and you can go back and do it again because you want to increase the score. So I've not gone back. I've not had time to go back and increase my score. So I just have the first tier score for the final one. But here, so yeah, I'll walk through it if you want. I think at least it's nice to kind of know what you're going to face. If nothing else, to kind of have a list of, okay, here's what enemies I'm going to face, and here's how they come at me, because you don't really get a sense of that by looking at the event. And if they would share that, that would be helpful. But without spending the time to go in and just test it out, we can tell you what it does. So Powers Chasm, and I'm talking about Rising, not Catalyst. So I'm talking about the level 50/70, and level 50 is a misnomer. But anyway, all of the enemies are weak to physical attacks. So all of your guys with swords and great swords and all those things, daggers, what other weapons do we have that are physical?
So wait, they're weak to daggers. You can just throw Garnet at them. And
Yeah. You throw Garnet at them.
Spoiler alert.
I not as weak as Edge, but not that's it was a little creepy actually, but fun.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So enemies weak to physical. Wave 1, you fight 2 of those sweepers, those little robots. And these are all robots too. So we have a robot killing machine, right, Edgar? So Edgar does physical damage and does bonus damage to machine. So Edgar's going to wipe through this without any problem if you have Edgar. Wave 1, 2 sweepers. Wave 2, 2 sweepers. Wave 2, 2 prototypes. Those are the big Omega weapon type guys, which is rough, right? Wave 4, 2 sweepers. Wave 5, 1 prototype, 1 booster machine. Booster's the more dangerous of the Omega weapon type machines. So that's pretty rough. Now the sweepers spend the first turn charging themselves, so those are actually fairly doable. So you can brave and then HP attack without actually having too much threat, because they're going to spend their first turn just buffing themselves. So you can brave attack, then HP attack, and probably kill them fairly easily. It might take a couple turns. You just have to be careful. If the prototypes, so you have 2 different types of big machines, prototype and booster. If the prototypes are brave broken, they power down for a couple turns. The booster machine does not. So you can power down the prototypes, bring them up. So I brought Lightning, Squall, Ramza. None of them were buffed. All of them are max limit bro. Obviously, you're bringing good characters if you want to beat this. Again, if you have Edgar, man, he's going to walk all through this. Brave and HP.
We technically all have Edgar. It's just if you have his
yes.
gear.
Well, yeah. I mean, you might be able to do it with Edgar with his 15 CP, one of his weapons, or even because we don't have any other spears, so you're going to want a weapon for Edgar to bring him. You don't want him with a 1-star weapon,
Seriously,
right?
Just a side thing. That was a dick move from Square to put two characters in Chapter 9 that you had no gear for. They should have, spaced them out a bit so that you could draw.
Or maybe given everybody a free 4-star.
Well, that's what they're doing at some point. New characters are going to come in with a 15 CP weapon.
Okay.
For example, Kefka uses, if you look on Dissidia DB, he uses it's the bandana. His weapon is a bandana or something.
Piece. His codpiece.
Yeah, and when you get him, you get a automatically. That's what I've heard from the Japanese game. You get a 15 CP weapon straight away. Let me just check
Nice.
that real quick. So
Yeah, I've not heard that. Oh,
I don't know
anyway,
where I
yeah.
saw that. It might have been okay. So see, his weapon is gear list air ornament. So
Hmm,
that's his weapon, and you get the jolly air ornament whenever you get him. But see,
cool.
that's how it was. All right, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, that's good to know.
Oh, Mino Spellgod on Twitch, thank you, Mino. It's a good thing you're there. Says that Sephiroth is the first to get a free 15 CP.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
and now you know.
So I brave an HP attack, just brave attack, and then HP attack, normal, no abilities, through the first 4 waves. Wave 5, the final wave came. I summoned Ifrit, brought Lightning in as a support character for Ramza because he's not doing much. Ramza's just boosting through those first 4 for me. And then I killed the prototype and then took down the booster. Not easy. That may have been one of my higher, like 80 turn rounds. So that was a little tougher because those booster machines are rough. But Belthier is a good person to have there too. So if you're worried about them boosting themselves. So the next round, Magic Chasm. Enemies are weak to magic. Surprise. So wave 1, you have one of those. What are they called? Sagans, Sahagin. They're the weird looking guys. And then a Flan. And then wave 2, you have 2 of those guys. And then wave 3, you have a giant, a blue or green giant. The colors aren't very good for me. Wave 4, you have 2 more of those desert looking guys. And then wave 5, 1 berserker armor. So that's nice. It's just 1 armor, not 2 armors. So 1 berserker armor is much easier to deal with than 1 berserker armor and anything else. This is one of my issues. Some magic users have physical weapons. For example, 2 of my main magic users, and maybe even 3 of my main magic users, because what's Terra have? What kind of weapons does Terra use?
I was gonna say a parent complex, but I don't think
Yes.
that's.
Yeah, so Terra, Von, and Ash all use swords. So their normal attacks are brave damage, are physical brave damage. Which is important if you're just trying to brave attack like magic weak enemies, right? Like if you bring in your sword squad, like if I brought in Terra and Ash and Von, and I'm just trying to do brave and HP attacks, they're gonna resist it, right? They're not gonna be weak to the magic because they're not doing magic. Like Papa Lamo, he's doing magic because he's got a magic wand, right? So he's doing magic with his normal attack. Those characters are not. So just think about that before you bring your characters. Depending on who you bring, though, feel free to use your abilities on the mobs, as that Berserker armor did not take up a lot of abilities to defeat. I only used a couple of abilities. And I actually, when I did this, because this is just my first time through, I didn't use my summon, and he only got 1 attack. So I didn't even use my summon on that. And I did not use my support either. So why do I tell you about magic users with physical brave attacks? Because guess who I brought? Terra, Ash, and Van. All 3 with swords.
Yeah, that would not
Slapping
have
away.
been. That would not have been my go-to.
But I used their abilities instead of using their regular brave attacks, and was able to defeat everybody. And then I brought Ifrit for the bonus and did not summon him. I brought Von for support. I did not bring him in either. So if you have some decent magic users, I don't think that one is very challenging.
See, on my end, I bought for that one. Let me check. Sorry, my phone is locked and being stupid. So for power, I bought Edgar, Shentoto, and for some reason, and Vaughn. And for magic, I bought what's his face from Final Fantasy X, the blue-haired guy, Seymour, Shantoto, and Vivi.
Yeah, Seymour, great choice for this event, definitely. Papalemon would have been a good choice. I saved Papalemon for the range one event here, but
yeah, so did I.
but yeah, very truthfully, Seymour is a great. I mean, Seymour is a great magic user. Garnet and Sarah are both great options. Shantoto is a great option if you have any of them. Trying to think of any other magic users that we have that are kind of on the top of the list right now, but yeah, if you actually have magic users that can use magic brave attacks, that's going to be super fun for you, as opposed to me and relying completely on my abilities, which worked, so whatever. So the final of the first three, is range Chasm, and as you could possibly guess, the enemies are weak to ranged attacks coming from guns, shurikens, or now bow and arrow. Right, that's our only ranged attacks. Oh, and cards, whatever they're considered. What's his weapon considered?
Yeah, they're cards. They're considered like throwing stars.
They're the shuriken. Yeah, the throwing stars. Yep. We won't get into that discussion. You know my feelings about Setzer's weapons in FFRK. So you face wave 1 is 2 goblin mages and a bomb, and I believe these are ice bombs, correct? Wave 2 is 2 goblin mages. Wave 3 is 2 zoos, and those are the flying ZU zoos. Wave 4 is 2 bombs, which is a nice wave. And wave 5 is 2, count them, 2 liches, undead wizardry liches. Most of these enemies debuff, because you're fighting those dumb goblin mages, which debuff. That's a pain in the butt. The zoos do not fall down when you break them. That's important to know. And both start with AoE attacks. Super annoying. Both of their first attacks are AoE attacks that hit everyone. Area of effect, they hit all of your characters. So that's super annoying that first round. So you pretty much have to brave attack because you don't want to be in a place where they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. All enemies are weak to range and fire. Range and fire. So we do have some fire characters. Papalemon specifically. Who else does fire in our beautiful game? Vivi does fire. We don't have his 35 CP weapon yet, do we? Anybody else does fire damage? There's got to be somebody else, right? Vincent does fire damage and range. Oh, if you have Vincent, what a day you're going to have, right? Does Ace? I always think Ace does fire damage because he does fire damage in FFRK, but I do not believe he does. I think that may be it. Remind us if there's any more. But yeah, Vincent's going to be great in this event. Belthier is going to be great in this. Papalemon certainly was usable in this event. Vivi might be, I don't know. I used... I gotta find it here. I brought Terra because she's buffed, so she's a monster. Like I think I got her brave up to like 20,000 at one point.
Wow.
In this because she's a monster when she's buffed. Papalemon and Belthier. Belthier, I only have his 15 CP, so he is not max limit broke. Terra and Papa sure as heck are. So I kind of mix and matched my brave and abilities. So sometimes I used brave. I tried to limit my ability use and then use brave attacks kind of in between. But I did not just go the first 4 waves brave HP only. I did use some abilities. Then I got to the liches. I summoned. I'm sure I was using a Freet. I did not write who. Oh, okay. That's why. I summoned a Freet, and I was able to kill the liches again. Terra, when she's doing elemental damage and she's buffed and you bring in a big summon like that, she's getting 16, 17, 18, 20,000 max brave, and she's doing crazy damage. So she was able to take those liches down pretty easy. I did not bring in my support in that round. I don't even remember who I brought. So
just next. Yeah.
So that unlocks, if you get perfect in each of those three, and I did, that unlocks our final power and magic chasm with mixed and matched bosses. I will go through what they are so you know. Wave 1 is a prototype and booster machine. They are weak to physical, ranged, and lightning. I just have light. Lightning attacks. The booster is weak to ice and lightning and resists all other elements. All right. So the prototype is weak to physical, ranged, and lightning. Excuse me. The booster is weak to physical, ranged, lightning, and ice, but resists all other elements. So I just, for this battle, I have to write this down because I cannot remember who's weak to what. So I just write it down and have it in front of me as I'm playing to remember what I'm doing and try to come up with a strategy, which I did, and it worked. So great.
That's a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah. Wave 2 is Berserker armor, just one again, which is awesome. They are weak to magic, earth, wind, not fire, dark, and they resist physical and ranged, right? So weak to magic, earth, wind, and dark damage, resists physical and ranged. Wave 3 is a lich, and the lich is weak to range and fire. Wave 4 is the chimera, and he is resistant to everything but physical, ranged, magic, ice, and lightning. Resists all other elements. So that's a lot of different stuff to juggle, right?
Right.
So you really need to come up with a plan of attack, understand what you're doing. And I did not bring down, that's funny, I did not write down who I beat it with. Isn't that hilarious? I wrote down how I did it. I did not write down who I beat it with. Thankfully, it is saved, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. But I can figure it out here if I go through it here. I brought Lightning, Belthier, and Terra. That's who I brought. So one physical character, one ranged character, one magic character. Wave 1, wow. Wave 1 was the tough wave for me. It took 52 turns to beat these stupid machines. Again, if I had Edgar, maybe that would have been better. So wave 1, Lightning did 3 of her Spark Strike attacks. Belthier used one of each of his weapons, or one of each of his abilities. Terra used one of each of her abilities. Wave 2 brought me up to 89 turns. Terra, because this is the Magic Week boss, Terra used 2 of each of her abilities. Belthier and Lightning just did Brave HP attacks. Wave 3 brought me up to 100 turns. So Brave turn 3 was the easiest. Lightning used 2 of each of her attacks. Terra used one of her each abilities, and Belthier used one of his abilities. And I may have summoned on 3 because he's weak to fire. So I'm pretty sure I summoned on wave 3. I don't have that written in here. And then wave 4, which took me 122 turns total. Lightning and Terra had 0 abilities left.
Wow.
They had nothing. I brought in Sarah, and wow, Sarah really is good. Sarah basically single-handedly took down that Chimera. Sarah and Belthier. And so if you have Sarah, you're going to do good. If not, maybe think about bringing her as a friend, because she certainly did a lot of damage to that guy. Just make sure you have a max limit broke friend bringing in. And my total score was 24,487. I have not done it again. I will bring Sarah as my ranged character, so we'll probably be Lightning, Sarah, and Terra with somebody else to deal with the Chimera at the end there. So, yeah.
Pretty impressive, man, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, so hopefully I can get up to I think 32 or 36 is the score you want. Well, that helped because I need some tickets, so.
There you go.
I should do that again.
So, hopefully that's all the strategy you need to tackle on these fights. They are the Catalyst fight is kind of like the battleground for everyone. The Rising fights, and I remember when that mechanic event came in the first time around, we said clearly even the trash mobs
Oh
are
yeah,
a showstopper. They can
yeah.
be really, really hard. So don't be too hard on yourself if you do not get past the trash mob. I did not during the first event in Rising, so it takes some strategy, some back and forth, some good characters, some good gear. So just go in there with an open mind and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not bringing buffed characters, you definitely want characters that are max limit broke or close. I think you might be able to get away with it if you have the buff characters, because the buff is pretty significant. But
All right.
yeah,
Moving on to something a little less hardcore for the players. It's the Princess of Alexandria event. That's the Garnet slash Dagger event. Final Fantasy IX introducing Garnet. Um,
yeah.
so basically, she just starts walking around in a castle of some sort and ends up face to face with Kuja,
Go figure.
who's trying to recruit her, or it's not super clear. Kuja speaks in poetic sentences, and maybe it's just because I didn't play Final Fantasy IX. I don't get where he's going, but he's a weird guy.
So it's always bugged me in this game because he's always talking about the stage is set and the second act and I'm like, I don't recall him talking like that. Now Final Fantasy IX has a lot of theater analogies going on because the whole game starts with a theater
Yeah, I
act,
got
right?
that far. Like the what's the
Yeah.
name? The first battle where Zidane
Yeah,
is.
Zidane, and yeah, there's the quick time event where you're fighting, which is a great song,
Oh yeah,
wonderful
that's what
song.
I'm trying to remember.
Uh,
But yeah.
yeah, and so yeah, I mean the whole game is kind of based around that play and that kind of understanding. So that analogy is running throughout. But so I actually went back and looked through Kuja dialogue
Wow.
because I'm like, I don't recall him ever talking about talking like that. And so after reading through Kuja text from Final Fantasy IX, he does talk very poetically, and he does make some vague play references, but like every character in Final Fantasy II does. Like so, he like when he's talking to the Queen, and like he'll say it's time for the second act. Like that's one thing he says. But he never's like the whole world is a play, and like they like ramp it up a little bit, like more so like they emphasize it maybe in DFFO a little bit more. But in Final Fantasy IX, he is super condescending all of the time. Like he talks down to everybody, he looks down on everybody, and you get kind of a little bit of that. But it's really hardcore in Final Fantasy IX, at least in the English translation. I have not played the Japanese version, so maybe he's not. So
See, I just Google what you said, and Kuja goes and says, "I'm sure you'll enjoy the second act from your soul's hellish prison, since the
yeah,
stage will be your former home. The final act will take us away from Gaia, and I will kill my nemesis with my own hand. Like, not two hands,
yeah.
just my own
So
hand. Just to
like I
choke him."
said, he does talk like that, but that's not like every line of dialogue. And it seems in Dissidia that's like everything he says has something to do with
I
that.
like that one. "Kuja, you're dead," says Zidane. "Oh dear, was it something I said?"
Yeah, like he's super condescending. Like he's a giant jerk.
Okay.
But no, I like Cujo a lot. I mean, he's definitely higher on the list of my favorite villains from Final Fantasy. Codpiece and all.
He's
Yeah.
gotta get. He's gotta have
So
something going against him.
yeah,
Um,
so like Edge, like out of nowhere in this storyline. You've played the story, right?
yeah, I did. I did. I
Yeah.
did.
like Edge sneaks up. He's like, "Hey, I'm a prince. You're a princess. Let's go talk about that."
Would you like to see my sword?
like, like, damn, Edge!
You would
Like just waiting in the wings. I don't know why that cracks me up so much. It's not very politically correct.
it came from nowhere. So
It did come from no, and she went with him. That's the most hilarious part. She's like, "Okay, let's go do that."
yep, let's go see your
Finally,
sword.
finally,
But
we know I like it.
despite Steiner being really, really irritated with that behavior, and Zidane being kind of, hey, wait, that was my catch. How is Garnet as a playable character in DFFOO?
Yeah, I think Garnet's good. I have both of her weapons, as I said before. They are not max limit broke yet, so I've not played with her a lot. But she's a magic brave
Edge
shaver.
did.
Yeah, right. She.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry that came out.
Everything else we say is not gonna go well. Everything's gonna be innuendo from this point on. This is where the show really starts to take a bad turn.
I'm
So
sorry.
Garnet is a magic brave shaver, and she has. My goodness, she has a nice AOE set with the unique elemental resistance down debuff for water and thunder. Which means if you have her weapons, you need both of her weapons to get those. One weapon gives the enemy elemental resistance water down. One weapon gives the enemy elemental resistance thunder down. So she is super, super great if you have a water team or a thunder team, especially against bosses that are already weak to water or thunder, or do not resist water or thunder. She's kind of nerfed against anybody that resists elements. But she's also does AoE damage, and her awakening, her level 60, is going to make those AoE attacks AoE brave plus HP. So she's going to get a lot better too.
Yep.
She's one of those characters that has a nice 2-star level Crystal Strength 50 ability in her artifacts. So whatever her level Crystal Strength level 50 ability for Garnet is. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Where is she? Where is she? I lost my princess. I lost my princess. Where's my princess? Where is she? Oh, she's not level. Oh, there she is. Like I don't know where she is. Because I can't remember what the passive ability is called. And of course, it's going to take a week and a half to load on this.
So you're saying the Aquamarine Water Lint extend and Peridot Turn to Flash extend? That turns like HP attack to Dragon Wave or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just mean Princess's Resolve. That's what I was looking at. So her level 50, her Crystal Strength 50 passive ability.
Oh, wow. I was in EX stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You can get a 2-star version of that on her artifact. Just like Terra's Trance mode, just like Lightning. So, I mean, so that's nice. So you really know what you want for her. You want her for artifact grinding. You want her 2-star Princess Resolve. I literally wrote that in the notes, too. I could have just read it in the notes and saved myself a lot of time. Or Max Brave. Her Max Brave is really, really low. And that's her big weakness right now. Her Max Brave is pretty low. So, but her weapons are pretty good, and you need them to make her useful. So one or the other is still going to help, though, because one gives you water and one gives you thunder. So, yeah, I like her.
All right. Speaking of that banner, so we talked about Garnet's 15 and 35 CP. We've talked in length at the beginning of the show about Cloud's 15 and 35 CP. I think we're at the part of the show where we need to do a 25-minute segment about Zell's 15 CP weapon.
Yeah. So it's maximum grip for hot dog eating contests.
There we go. That
Lot of, hot dogs are slippery, is
they
all I'm
are,
gonna say.
especially
And
steam cooked hot
yeah,
dogs.
well, yeah, and you got to eat the bun too. So in the hot dog eating contest, so yeah, you need all the grip you can get to eat your hot dogs. So
All right,
I don't know where
so
this is going. This is not going good places.
despite Zeal's being on that banner, would you
Yeah.
recommend pulling on that banner in hope of getting
Well, this is
Garnet's gear?
this is the banner a lot of people have been waiting for because not only do you get Garnet, who is a decent character, you get Cloud's 35 CP, which makes Cloud really, really good. Cloud is kind of this up and down character, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But yeah, I mean this is a pretty good banner.
All
So
right. And in the boss, you fight the Flan, which
yeah,
is
this is Flan.
so I haven't done the this level 70 co-op yet.
Yeah, I have.
Uh,
It's super annoying.
I've been looking at these bosses, and from what I'm seeing, it seems to switch between weak to water and weak to fire, and not super clear. But there again, I've only fought so far the Flan that's weak to fire, so maybe
Yeah,
it's tougher in co-op than what
yeah.
I've seen.
So this co-op is a two-wave co-op, and the first wave you fight two mankins, and they are really the issue here.
I saw that on Reddit, something
Yeah,
about
no,
these.
they have tons of HP,
Okay.
and I don't even think it's the damage they're doing. It's just they have tons of HP, and they take a long time to kill, especially if you're not using abilities. I'm going to tell you once, you can use abilities on these stupid things because once we got so I brought in a party. I had Cloud. I think it was not. There was like two Clouds and an Aerith. It was not an ideal party. All right. If you got Garnet, Garnet is great at this. She's going to tear this event up. We basically just did Brave HP. I didn't know what to expect. But everybody brought Leviathan because the weird Flan, whatever it's called, it starts as weak to water. So it starts weak to water, resistant to fire.
Yep.
And if you let it live, it would switch, but you're not going to let it live. Because we chained Leviathan, and it didn't get an action.
Wow.
I mean, we literally chained Leviathan, finishing touch, back and forth. It was a murder fest.
Because it took you guys so long to get through
Right.
the mannequin that all of your
Yeah.
summons were ready by
Yep.
the time you got to the
Leviathan
Flan.
was fully ready to go. Everybody brought Leviathan, so he was water weak. Yeah, and he does not have the HP that the Mankins
All
have.
right.
So yeah, Garnet, Cloud. I mean, Zell's not going to be terrible in this event. Um, Steiner might have a place here to help with those Mankins. Ferris with her water attacks.
Are the mannequins weak to anything?
I don't believe so. They're just you have a Steiner Mankin and who else? Zidane?
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it's a thing.
Zidane and Steiner Mankins. I do not believe they are weak to Jack and or Jill.
Okay, so use your abilities on the mannequin, bring Leviathan, and
Yeah, I mean
just.
you want some abilities for the flan, but you don't need to save everything. You know,
All right.
we probably used two finishing touches and two cross slashes, and that was it. So
You know what's funny? If we go back about maybe 4 or 5 episodes, one of the question of the week was, "Oh my God, are we going to get out of the Chocobo and self meta and co-op
yep,
ever?"
we sure are.
And for the last, was it like 2 or 3 events, we've been getting 2 waves co-op
Yep.
events, and we haven't heard about either of them because they're not relevant anymore.
I,
And the events we're fighting. I'm not saying they're not
yeah,
relevant at all anymore, but it's funny how the solution to that was to add an extra wave
I-
of boss.
pretty much. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, because the last event was Efreet, and this event is Leviathan. So you can bring Efreet, but well, you shouldn't bring Efreet because he's resistant to fire.
Well,
So
unless you want to bring a threat to get the strength bonus, but
yeah,
anyway. So that's what it is.
yeah,
You got your strategy. Um, Now let's talk about. I know last night you worked on a pull spreadsheet to prepare for the upcoming
yeah.
characters and everything. And I think Cloud's bugging you in terms of how he's useful, how he's not useful, how he's useful, how he's trash, and
Yeah, Cloud is a real up and down character, and he has been since the beginning of the game. Because when we started the game, right, Cloud was like right on top. You saw Cloud all the time in co-op, and then he kind of drop. Now he's going to be back on the top for a while, and then he's going to drop until about the first year anniversary. Then he gets his EX weapon, and he's going to be back on top and going to drop. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, we all love Cloud, and he's Cloud, so he's going to be who he is. But it is kind of hard to want to pull. I mean, I decided to pull on this event and keep going because I got his 35 CP based on the fact that I really wanted another physical character, and he fits that bill fairly well. But yeah, if you want Cloud and you really want his 35 CP weapon and his EX weapon, obviously his other weapons would be great too.
oh,
But
just gonna stop you right there for a second. It's 10:02, well, Eastern time, and there's a notice in the game. It says that there's been character adjustments, and this is breaking news. We need to discuss this in line.
Breaking news.
On August 3rd, the following adjustments were implemented for SAS. Command ability aim. Base use count increased from 5 to 7.
Yes,
Aim now has a higher turn rate.
That was the problem with aim.
Command ability attack boost. Base use count increased from 3 to 4. Attack boost now have a higher turn rate. So get ready to see Saz killing it in your co-op because he's coming back. Nope.
That was the problem with Zaz. He didn't have enough ability uses.
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
the only reason people were not playing with Zaz. So that's just step one. It's part of a big multi-step plan to make Zaz great again.
But no matter what, make Zaz great again. No matter what happened, we still think don't play with your Zaz. Just leave him there. And so sorry. So you were saying that DFFOO Cloud is just like FFRK's Cloud. He's the first guy to get everything, and he's the first guy to get sidetracked when everybody else get everything. So he's not good. He's just the first guy to get the new powerful stuff.
Well, he is good. I mean, he kind of has these peaks and valleys. And
no, he's not good. He's just good because he's the only one who has the powerful stuff. But if you put everybody on the same line with powerful weapons, who's the guy you're not going to see besides Zaz? It's Cloud.
Yeah.
So if all the EX weapons were released at the same time for all the characters, you wouldn't be hearing about Cloud. The only reason you're hearing about him is because he's getting his stuff first.
Yeah. Not the case with this 30 because he was one of the last to get his 35 CP.
I need to get myself like a park and a table and a sign that says "Prove me wrong."
Come at me. Prove me wrong.
That's my opinion. But anyway.
Hashtag overrated.
There we go. So, spreadsheet. Where are your gem going?
Yeah. So I outlined my rough look at events.
I gotta
through
tell
the
you,
rest of the year.
The simple fact that you open up Excel and you did this. Respect, my man. Respect. I mean,
I did share it on Twitter at Rev Mark Myers. So if you want to look on Twitter, you can see it for yourself. But yeah, so just to give you a sense, we've got Garnet, Celeste, Kane, Lost Chapters, Prish, Ferris, Ramza, Maria, Palom, Kuja, Chapter 10, Cypher, Rage, and Fujin, Quistis, Lena, Sephiroth, Lost Chapters, H, Seymour, Ace, Seymour, Sabin, Sid, Zack, Rydia, interlude with Case Sith. Um, Now the EX cloud, because there's going to be an EX banner around the first anniversary, which I guess is going to be January, February probably. So this will be after the first of the year. So that will be a banner with Cloud's EX weapon, and then another banner with Shantanto's EX weapon. But that's also going to have three other characters' weapons on that banner. So the odds of getting an EX weapon real low. I don't know what the thing is because I don't read Japanese because I did look at some videos, but real low. And so December I have Elalise. She's from Final Fantasy 14, I think. Noctis. Oh yeah, Prince Noctis. And then Selfie, and then Lost Chapters, Krilly, Thranst, and Snow. Now there are some other, like we have an unknown event coming up here in a couple days. We don't know what that is. So there are some other events here. Um, but once we start getting to December, the Alice Say, whatever she is, then we start getting an EX weapon in every banner. Now this may change because I don't know if I think Cloud's EX was the first EX in Japan, and we would not be slated to get it. So Square may change this up. We may get the EX weapons earlier. They are changing some things. This order may be wrong because we had Orin before Garnet, that kind of stuff that happens. But as it stands, in Japan, that's the best guess we have. Terra got her EX weapon, then that was followed by Noctis's EX weapon, followed by Squall's EX weapon, and so then everybody has an EX weapon. So, if you really want to start thinking about EX weapons, you're going to want to start saving up. Because the chance of getting those EX weapons is going to be very, very small. And you're going to have them every single week, right? I mean, you're going to have a new EX weapon every week. And hopefully then, they'll get a little bit more regular, but still, you're going to want to start thinking about that. Among my kind of look, not just picking characters that I like, but kind of looking at banners that I thought were particularly good. The Kuja banner has Yuna's 35 CP and both of Setzer's weapons. So it's at I think, when is it? When does it start? So I think that is the first banner that you start seeing then all 35 CP weapons. So there will be 6 weapons on each banner as opposed to 5 in the events. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more event banners with 5 weapons as opposed to 6 weapons. So that's a good and a bad, depending on your understanding, I guess, of statistics. So that has Setzer's good weapon, Yuna's good weapon, and Kuja's not a bad character. So I like that banner. If you miss Sarah, Quistis is the next week with Quistis, BVZ, and Sarah. Sephiroth's banner has Sephiroth, Aiko, and Vincent. Vincent and Aiko are pretty good. I think they might start losing some commodity around that time, though. Zack's banner, which I think will be around November. Zack from Crisis Core and 7 to some respect. Laylee, I have Laylee, and Laguna. So that's, I think, the first time you get Laylee's 35 CP and Laguna's 35 CP, and those are both good. And then for me, the Squall EX banner with Selfie, and Selfie's top shelf. We all knew that going into it, of course. So that banner is going to be on my list. But it's going to be hard for me not to pull on the Yuna banner and the Kuja banner and the Zack banner, because those are both pretty good banners in my opinion. But you can look at that spreadsheet and we'll see how it all turns out.
I'm going to add a link to the spreadsheet in the show notes, so in case you haven't seen it, you'll be able to do that, and you can discuss the spreadsheet with Mark directly on his Twitters at RevMarkMyers. So,
yes.
The question of the week. How do you approach playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera compared to other mobile game or just mobile games in general, which includes free to play, play to win, casual, favorite characters, or best characters? On my end, quite frankly, I just play Final Fantasy games mostly on my phone. uh, I don't. I have a hard time getting not attached, but getting involved. That's the right word into any game at that point. I'm stupid enough to keep replaying the same game over and over and over, or remain attached to a series like Final Fantasy. Um, I'm still playing Octopath Traveler on the Switch. I am super into that game, super into the characters. I would probably say I'm 30% into the game at that point. I haven't been like that much into a RPG game in a very long time. So I am so not your typical gamer. So hopefully you've got a better point to bring to the table than I.
Well, I kind of mix and match. I am not a free to play player. We've both talked about this. I pay to support the game. I don't gamble. I don't gamble on mobile games, but I do invest in them because I think it's worth investing in a game that you play every day. That's my opinion. I like the idea, like ticket and subscription fees a lot. I think that's a better way to do it, and I feel good investing in that way as well.
I did like the Koopa cards
Yeah,
in
yeah, exactly.
Dissidia, so
That's I think that's a very nice way to engage and support the material. In terms of drawing, I think I try to invest in characters I like, but also characters that are good. So I don't pull on a character just because I like the character, as opposed to what I might do in some other games. But yeah, I have a problem playing games and then like just I want to beat the content, I want to play the game. So right now, because my phone crapped out, I'm pretty much just playing DFFOO, and I'm probably just going to go back to just playing DFFOO for a while once I do get my phone back and not focus on anything else. So we did get a couple of replies, and I don't know if you have any others, but Jen Mars on YouTube said, Opera Omnia is the only game I make a point to play daily, at least to get the daily rewards. It's easily the best mobile game at the moment. Easily the best mobile game at the moment. I think so too. I like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. And then Drobman17 at Drobman17 with the B on Twitter. I actually try characters out after I unlock their second ability at 20 level crystal strength, and if I like their mechanics, I'll pull on their banner. Lightning was Lightning was an exception. Loved FF13, so I was pulling hard on that banner no matter what. And I think two other dudes were too. I like Final Fantasy 13 quite a bit.
but I mean, despite liking Final Fantasy 13 or not, I'm still using Lightning on a daily basis at any event. She's still kicking ass. So it was a good investment. I've made worse investment with my gem. I can tell you that.
It is nice because most of the protagonists are decent characters. So most of your protagonists are going to be decent characters worth investing in. I don't know if there's any notable exceptions to that. It's a little hard with games like Final Fantasy 6, I know, because you argue about who's the protagonist, but according to Dissidia, Terra's the protagonist, so she's a decent character. According to many other people, she's not, but Edgar specifically, Locke maybe.
We're referring to the, in case you haven't heard, we're referring to the Final Fantasy VI.
Who is the main character of this?
What was the name of that thing? Final Fantasy VI in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
they just released Final Fantasy VI on their YouTube.
It's hilarious. Just for kicks, I'll add a link to the show notes. You got to do yourself a favor and watch that. But to pull a Derek on you when they discuss who's the main character, their decision might surprise you. We'll leave it to that. But next week, the question of the week will be: what's your ideal event / release schedule for the Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia? So there we go.
I say that because we're, if you look at the last 30 days, you're gonna and the next 30 days, a really weird schedule.
It's a train wreck. Let's
You
just
know, like
say
a
what it
really
is.
weird schedule. Like we had like no events for like 2 weeks, and now we've had a whole bunch of events, and now we're gonna have sporadic events. So, I know they're juggling and trying to, mesh things with release dates in Japan, but yeah. So I just thought it'd be a good question to ask. As a player, what would your ideal release schedule be?
And speaking of upcoming events and all of that, so we've got mystery event in 4 days. Do you want to speculate on what that's going to be? Do you think
Yeah, I
we'll
have
have
no idea.
any idea on Friday's stream or no
I have
idea?
no idea. No idea. May not.
And
It might not be anything either. Who knows, right? Um, you
well,
know.
as always with data mine information, you got to take it with a grain of salt. So we might all be excited for absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. Um, But anyway, and then in 2 days there's going to be the Wall of Illusion, Carbuncle's Treasures. So I guess that's just power up material, if I'm correct.
Yes. Correct. Right.
And then in 9 days there's
Yeah.
the
Wow.
Celeste event.
So
Uh,
August, we're not getting Celeste until August 12th, and we're not getting Kane until August 21st.
so it's gonna be weird,
So
weird in the
there's
game.
going to be some dead time, which will be good because I need to recover. I need to recover from all of the power orbs that I've invested here in this last, and I still need a whole bunch more. So
All right, well that pretty much sums it up for us for this show. I thought that was going to be a shorter one than last week's show,
yeah,
and what would you know, we went above and beyond. Uh,
never.
yeah, we keep raising the bar.
Let's,
Um,
let's go.
so that's going to be it for us. Again, we're on all your social medias, that whether it be Twitter, Facebook, all of that. All of our links are available on our website. That's tccpodcast.com. We'll be here next week and all of that. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you people that were live with us on Twitch. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Pierre.